So, on Wednesday, Atomic Mass Games dropped a nuke on the community in the form of points updates for Star Wars Legion.
Our local community's not happy.
The Legion community as a whole isn't happy.
Oh,
So they also announced that they're going to be doing rule changes and erratas coming. So we're going to be next week. So we're going to be talking about just the point updates for right now, and as soon as the erratas come out, we'll be talking about those.
uh-huh.
So let's just get into this quickly. Run through it. I know we said we were on our December hiatus, but this was
This
was enough chaos to bring us out of the holes we were hiding in.
It doesn't have to bring us out of the basement.
So we're gonna try to draw some targeted fire here from the community. We've got some hot takes. I have some hot takes. So let's just get into it. I'm your host Isaiah,
I'm Chris.
and this is Locked Loot. You want to dial us out?
Sure.
We do not plunge headlong into folly on the orders of a single madman. Deploy the turret! He's got nukes.
You're the last boots on the ground.
Position standby for defensive fire.
Jedi. Like my father before me.
D. Ding! Vex on the feed.
Attention on deck.
This channel is now under military control.
All right. So yeah, point updates. This is interesting because we were expecting them to be more heavy-handed with their point updates, which I mean, some of it they were. They definitely had some heavy-handedness in their point updates.
Yep.
But what I'd like to say is that this is our first major point update with Atomic Mass Games with Legion. So we're going to be seeing how they do their updates, whereas, Fantasy Flight saw a problem, nuked it from orbit, didn't care about the consequences for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
I feel like Atomic Mass Games are being more careful with their
Yeah.
updates. They saw problems, they fixed those problems, but they're not hitting them from orbit.
Yeah.
There's
a few exceptions on here.
Oh yeah, there's a few exceptions on here. The only complaint I have about point updates is how Atomic Mass Games seems to catch things in the crossfire that were like, okay, why?
But the mortar.
The mortar. Yeah, let's start with the mortar. Let's start with the Empire's buffs and point reductions. Let's go faction by faction. So the Empire.
So the
mortar got increased by 2 points.
Why?
We have no clue. Was there somebody in AMG that was playing the mortar so well in the test groups that they had to increase the points? Or is this something that's going to come up in the errata?
I'm wondering the exact same thing. I'm wondering if they're doing what they did to the Rebel Vets, their emplacement.
The emplacement where they increased its health to 4?
Yeah.
Honestly, I could see them doing that. My only issue is 4 health mortars would be a nightmare.
Yeah, because they roll red, don't they?
They roll red.
Yeah, that'd be a nightmare.
They don't surge, but surge tokens, you can get them easily.
Yeah.
What I would say is rather than giving them health, let them surge.
Yeah.
Because the Rebel Vets surge both ways.
Yep.
Honestly, I would say let them surge defensively.
Mm-hmm.
That would be worth 2-point increase. If they decided that shores and
vets are
do shores and mortars need to roll defense because they're already rolling red. Yeah. And the point value, oh my lord, would you say shores are equivalent to the vets? No, shores are significantly better. Yeah, 100%. And you pay for that difference.
Yeah,
I think letting them surge one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say let them surging defensively would be less of a problem than surging offensively. So if the erratas are coming out, I would say maybe they got the point increase because they're planning on giving them something.
Yeah.
Whether they're increasing the critical by 1, I could see them increasing it to critical 2, or they're giving them an extra surge.
Yeah.
Or giving them a new ability, like reliable. Actually, that wouldn't be too bad. Giving shore troopers reliable.
Uh-huh.
The only issue is you've got shore troopers with tokens.
Yeah.
And you're going to be trying to get them. I would say just give them surge defense.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where the errata is going with this. But it could be nothing and they just really hate the mortar.
I'm with them if that's the case.
They just really hate the mortar.
Yeah.
They kind of feel like the new stuff is going to make the mortar... The new metas are going to improve the mortar.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I played a game with the new bounty hunters,
Uh-huh.
and I played against Sabine, and my empire stopped her in the tracks by just suppressing her.
Yeah.
She dropped explosions, and she lost an action, and so she couldn't charge in and put the bombs. You know, I think the suppressive on the mortars is really good.
Yeah.
Um, okay. Next one for the Empire is, of course, the DLT 19 Death Trooper, which is their heavy unit.
Uh-huh.
2 black, 1 white. I think he's not the one that gives them compel. It has impact. So impact 1, 2 black, 1 white. They're decreasing it from 34 to 30. So they're giving it a 4-point buff. I mean, it was always heavily costed.
Yeah.
When you consider that this upgrade, if you're running 1 Death Trooper and want to put a heavy, you're taking the other guy. You're
Yep.
taking DT 19, I think he is,
Mhm.
because he's 19 points.
Yeah.
Or 16 or something. He's in the 10s.
Yeah.
And he gives him compel and all this. He's good. He's a 2 health unit. So it's
Mhm.
like, yeah. Honestly, I didn't see Death Troopers being a problem. I know, like, when you're looking at, like, the last major tournament, I can't remember which one it was, but it was, like, it was a big one. I can't remember its name, but it was a major one, and Death Trooper army did take top 4,
Uh-huh.
so it was, like, Krennic Death Troopers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I'm like, Death Troopers, I don't see them being a problem, but maybe they could use a little bit of help. Okay. Let's talk, Rebels.
Do you want to? Oh, so we're just. All right, that's a fun joke because there's no rebels on here. I was like, wait, where's the joke here? And then I
Yeah.
looked, I'm like, all right.
Yeah, Rebels completely dodged they dodged, they outmaneuvered,
But
the the nerfs and buffs. Okay, so let's get into Gar. Gar is where we're seeing some interesting things because we expected Gar to be more heavy-handed.
Gar was not. Gar just got to the highest point cost I see from them is 5.
Yeah, they didn't get any major buffs, which is a problem considering how weak Gar is right now. I wonder if they remember what happens when you nerf or buff Gar too much.
Yeah.
They dominate the playing field.
Yeah.
So seeing buffs, so let's start with ARC Troopers, got a decrease of 4 points.
Yep.
Back to their printed cost.
Uh-huh.
ARC Trooper Strike Teams got decreased by 4 points back to their printed cost. 3 points, sorry. Phase 2s went down to 60.
Huh.
The DC 15 on the Phase 1s went down to 24. The DP 23 went down to 20. So that's the shotgun. The Z6 went down by 1 point. 1 point. Boop. A Z6, 1 point. To make it now equivalent to nothing. It is still one of the more expensive ones.
Yeah.
No, it's equivalent to the DC 15. No, it's cheaper than the DC 15. I don't know how I feel about the Z6. It's a Z6. It's 5 or 6 white dice.
That's
That's
6
it.
white. Yeah.
6 white, no abilities. Flat, range 1 to 3. I mean, not super good on clones considering they don't surge.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, if they surge, those extra white dice can help. But you're looking at a 1 in 4 chance each of those dice hit.
Yeah.
So unless you got surges or anything on there, so I'm not too impressed with that. So as far as like personnel heavy trooper upgrades and like the ARC troopers, honestly, the point upgrades are just enough because to make sure like clones can drop a heavy and take an ARC trooper strike team.
Yeah.
So you can get an extra.
Yep.
And then we kind of go into the weird stuff that they buffed, which is the clone commander upgrade, 2-point decrease.
Okay.
Clone comms tech, a 1-point decrease. Nobody uses the comms tech anyway.
Maybe they're trying to make it so people will use it.
Why?
Exactly.
We don't even use Imperial comms techs or Rebel comms techs, and they're 10 points. And then the clone engineer went down by 4 points. And then the clone medic, 5-point decrease.
Yeah.
That means the clone medic is cheaper than any other medic other than the droid medics. And by droid medics, I mean they're PK repair droids because droids don't really deal with non-metal creatures. So, one, he's a combatant.
Yeah.
So he adds a die to the pool. I mean, sure, he only treats one with one, and only has a capacity of one.
Yeah.
But he's the cheapest medic.
Yeah.
Which is weird for Gar. Gar isn't used to having the cheapest of anything.
It's used to having the most expensive of everything.
That's my point. And people were talking on the 801st Discord. The discussion kind of went to clone medics, and people are like, "Yeah, clone medics." They were kind of I'll take them before. Now they're I'll take them.
Yep.
Um, I'm most disappointed. Like looking through this, it's not enough.
It definitely isn't enough. I think it's at least helping, but I think AMG also knows what happens
Yeah.
when you buff Gar too much.
Or they're planning in the erratas to change something. They're
Yeah.
restoring the old token sharing system.
Oh God. No. Please God, no.
Now that I think about it, the old token sharing system, in the state that Gar is right now, where they're so expensive,
Would actually.
it would probably balance them out. I mean, yeah, maybe it's like ARC troopers can only share with ARC troopers.
Yeah, it's
And
only
clone-
trooper to trooper type.
Core can only share with core.
Yeah.
Core can only share with core. Strike teams can only share with strike teams, which is fine.
Yeah.
With Exemplar running around, you'd be fine. But I wonder if there's some this feels like there's changes coming.
Yeah, there's more erratas. I feel the same.
A heavy errata is coming. And so this is like calm before the storm. You know, we got the whiff of it, and we're like, ooh. They're like, point updates. Everybody's gonna love this. Everybody hates it. Erratas. Everybody's either gonna love it or hate it.
Yeah.
And the game has been out for a long time, so like some erratas on these older units are gonna be good.
Yeah.
Okay.
CIS.
CIS. They really hate the ion gun.
I mean, I hate the ion gun.
That is so heavy-handed.
15-point increase. Why?
Okay, here's the thing. I could see a 5-point increase. I could even see a 10-point increase.
Yeah.
On the ion gun. The nose-mounted ion cannon is so good. But it's not a problem right now. In fact, it's what's helping the meta against other things because it's hopping off it normally works against vehicles and droid troopers.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, it's what's holding off like speeder bikes.
Yeah. Wasn't the joke that the best thing against DSDs is DSDs?
DSDs are the best things against DSDs. And now you made both DSDs worse. The list worse. I get it. Droids have a lot of troops.
Yeah.
But you increase that way too much.
Yeah.
There is no justification you could make right now where a DSD nose-mounted cannon is 25 points.
Right.
It's just way too much. So the other thing that they hit,
Magna Guard.
the rocket launcher for the Magna Guard by 6 points. Why?
I wonder if they're releasing a new vehicle.
A new vehicle? We don't have any announcements or even some inklings of new vehicles.
Huh.
Because okay, like what new vehicle would they release for the
I have no
droids?
clue.
I'm like, if you think about it, like if they're prepping for a new vehicle to come out, and they're setting up the matter for that vehicle to be able to come in and deal some like really work, what kind of vehicle would it need to be?
I have no clue.
And you need to release the counterpart for another faction.
Yeah, that's fair. So
the issue is, I think we're looking because right now we're dealing with a lot of bounty hunters coming out.
yeah,
Between the reworks to all the bounty hunters and the mercenary rules, to where like bounty hunters earlier in the year, where bounty hunters can now work with other factions and
Yeah.
factions that didn't have them before have them. I wonder if bounty hunters are going to be like more prominent.
yeah.
And so like I don't know why they're nerfing these guys specifically because of that.
I have no clue. I'm wondering if they're one of the ones that just got caught in the crossfire.
But if they were like trying to hit like armor specific hurting things, why would they buff the DC-15, which didn't really need it, and the DLT-19? Because those things are impact weapons.
Huh.
Yeah, those guys are impact weapons.
I don't know.
So they're kind of all over the place. So I feel like this is a overreaction.
Probably.
Because DSDs and Magna Guards are good.
No.
They're really good on the field. They don't keep up, although we haven't seen the meta after these shifts of what they did to our next faction, the mercenaries.
Oh, you want to talk about a nuke from orbit? This is the nuke from orbit.
AMG looked at them, brought all of their friends in, and said, "Bend over."
Or actually, I think the better term to be was I took him out back and shot them like a lame dog or horse.
It is so heavy-handed. Okay, go into this. Start with the capos.
Capo's got increased by 3 points. The foot soldiers got increased by 4. The Black Sun Vigo, the upgrade, got increased by 2. And and why is the capo on this
The
list?
capo is an upgrade.
Oh, the upgrade. Okay,
Yeah,
so
so
that's 2 point upgrade.
okay, so let's talk about these guys because these guys were the real problem.
Yeah.
Dodge spam lists have been a huge problem. They're not fun to play against.
Yep.
They're not fun to play
Mm.
because a lot of people like rolling the dice. The thing about dodge spam lists, you don't even roll the dice.
Yeah.
The attacker rolls the dice and then you dodge them all.
Yep.
It's feel bad on the attacker, feel bad on the defender. It's no fun.
Yeah.
For either side. Competitively viable? Of course. But no fun.
Yeah.
Because dodge spam is inherently, I'm going to count pikes into kits. Their foot soldiers have outmaneuver and independent dodge. So they have a dodge already. They can dodge crits, which means you get them behind heavy cover. They're canceling 2 hits already from cover.
Yeah.
And then you add usually like take cover or vigilance onto them to give them a series of 5 to 6 dodges sometimes.
Yeah.
Which, when you've got an enemy with 5 to 6 dodges, you're dodging an average of 6 or above hits.
Yep.
Which means no one can hit them. Syndicate gun lines are a mess. And where they really became a problem was when they're paired with rebels.
Yeah.
Rebel gun lines became a thing.
Finally, it became a thing.
And then they hit them from orbit. Because rebels should never have gun lines.
That's fair.
If rebels are prepping gun lines, we have a problem.
Yeah.
The vets became really good because of situational awareness.
Yeah.
Which lets them dodge crits.
Yeah.
So, dodge spam lists became so prevalent. You had 3 lists at tournaments. You had dodge spam rebels, dodge spam mercenaries, and speeder bikes. So really knocking out 2 of those only made that strong. Okay, then we got to. This is a part of getting nuked from orbit, and we kind of mentioned vigilance and situational awareness before, but some upgrades got hit too.
Yep.
This affects everybody. Okay, so vigilance.
7-point increase.
Dear God, that is so high. Let me preface this. Aggressive tactics is 15.
Yeah.
They're putting vigilance on par with aggressive tactics.
It kind of deserves it, though.
It does. It broke so many lists because keeping dodges is so strong. Being able to keep your dodges, being able to have the Jedi keep their dodges, have the Pike Syndicate keep their dodges. It is very strong.
Yeah.
So vigilance getting hit like this, that hurts rebels a lot. So when we laughed about rebels avoiding this, they got caught in the crossfire.
They did, and I will say they did deserve it.
Rebels have been in a really good place.
Yeah.
So being able to, have these go around is nice. Burst of speed. I did not see this one coming.
7-point upgrade. Or increase.
Yeah. Was burst of speed that much of a problem?
I think it's because it was taken on every Jedi because it was so good.
It is good. It's a one-off. You get speed 3. I know, it was taken on Vader because it's a Vader. He's normally speed 1, and now you have a speed 3 relentless Vader coming at you.
That's scary.
That is scary, but it was also taken on things like Yoda
Uh-huh.
and on Luke. It was taken on a lot of Jedi, but I didn't really see it as a problem. I get it. It could be weird to play into a Jedi that can immediately burst in there, but I'm you don't really have to worry about Kool-Aid Man builds too much.
Found a new favorite word for those builds.
Kool-Aid Man builds? Oh yeah.
Grappling hooks got caught in the crossfire too.
Grappling hooks.
1 point increase for
Okay.
whatever reason.
My question is, who played grappling hooks so well that AMG decided These need a 1-point increase.
We need to double their point cost.
Who in their right mind, either at AMG or at one of their play tables of the play testers, played grapple hooks that well? But it's like the AMG's guys are like, that's not fair. We're doubling their points.
I have no clue.
1 point though. It doesn't sound like a lot. It's not a lot. Like nobody takes grapple hooks anyway. Because if you're taking grapple hooks, you're like, why would I take grapple hooks? The only reason you take it is to get somebody like Cassian up high, but he's got infiltrate, so you can just deploy him up there anyway.
Yeah.
Anyone you want high up is gonna start there because anyone you want high up usually has an ability to get themselves up there.
Yeah.
Usually infiltrate or covered ops.
Yep.
So, you didn't see the grapple hooks. I'm just laughing at that. Offensive push.
2 point.
Okay, offensive push. 2-point increase. I know I didn't like tactical strike builds have been there for a very long time. They haven't been a problem.
Yeah.
Sorry. We're grabbing our waters. I decided to drink out of his. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. Offensive push. I know they're like hitting Iden tactical strike. Like 2 big problems with Iden tactical strike because of vigilance.
Yeah.
Because they would also take vigilance and dodge spam. And then they'd have the aim spam of offensive push with steady. But I don't see it as too much of a problem because Iden tacticalists have been around forever. We know how to counterplay them.
Yeah.
You deal with the vigilance like they did, and the Idens no longer are a problem.
Yeah.
So, this nerf to offensive push, here's what I say about this. Guess now they're the same price. Hunter has a place in lists now.
Yeah.
In fact, when I was doing some lists building, I kind of just brewing with my IG units because I've been trying to get double IGs to work. They're very fun. I found that Hunter is great on them.
Yeah.
And offensive push doesn't work. So I wonder if their like offensive push is now on par with Hunter. Cool, that's fine by me. But I don't know. I didn't feel like this deserved it.
Yeah.
Unless there's stuff coming up that we're not seeing. And
Like maybe stuff in the errata.
or they're prepping a similar style of upgrade type to vigilance.
Possibly.
For aims.
Oh god.
So that people can keep their aims between rounds.
I can just stack up a whole crap ton of
Whole
aims.
mess of aims. Not, oddly enough, not as big of a problem as stacking up dodges.
Fair enough.
Because the worst you can do with a ton of aims is load out your entire dice pool.
Yeah.
The worst you can do with dodges is dodge everything. Never get hit by an attack. So, oh my god, this Discord is blowing up. Why is it not muted? Sorry, we're having, okay. Prep inside baseball and why the Discord beeps keep coming. We did not actually plan to, do recording.
Yeah, it was just kind of
It was kind of a,
this came out, we need to record.
Yeah, this came out, we need to record. We need to cover this. So, my Discord's blowing up. Other Discords, so I'm just muting the server. Okay, but yeah, back to offensive push. An upgrade, or they're gonna redo aggressive tactics.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
I could see them saying, okay, aggressive tactics feels like something where you should get aims.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I feel like they are either going to release an upgrade with the aims, or they're going to redo one of the upgrades in the errata.
Yeah.
To target aims and make aims a whole better. That's what I'm most concerned about. Okay. Situational awareness. 2-point increase. They doubled its point cost.
Yeah.
It's now 4. That actually makes a whole lot of sense. It was a problem with dodge spam lists.
I am actually really glad I decided to take a hiatus playing Legion.
Dude, you're not the only one. So, inside, the community, a lot of people took a break.
Yeah.
Matt and Josh took a break. Marshall is going to take a break from competitive play. the meta is so toxic right now.
Yeah.
And so unfun to play and play against that nobody wants to play.
Yeah.
Or I think it's good because in casual you get to bring up these interesting lists because
you get to bring the really
you get to bring the double IGs with beers and an ATST. Sorry, I'm just laughing because that's one of the bit lists I have. Double IGs with the beers and an ATST. No vigilance. Don't worry, no vigilance. We don't need dodges over here in the Empire. But yeah, that's part of the dodge spam break.
Yeah, you also have me with super meme lists.
Dude, going to tournaments with meme lists is great. Okay, but tenacity.
Uh-huh.
Tenacity.
I'm a little sad about that one being hit, but I'm kind of glad about it because as Sabine runs in with 8 dodges, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, she has an yeah. I'm like tenacity is one of those things you're like, it could be a problem, it couldn't be might not be a problem. It depends if you can stop people from getting in close. So I'm very much like on the fence about that one.
Mhm.
Now it's like, okay, tenacity and hunter are the same cost now. So if you're like playing Din, you might as well like you can take a. Did you just drop a magnet in your water? God, we're out of. Oh man, this is not a good recording session from us. The squirrels in our brains are on hiatus.
The squirrels on our brains decided to check out. They're hibernating for now.
They're still in a Thanksgiving food coma.
That's not sure we did that. This episode is just gonna be called Outtakes.
I'm not taking outtakes. These are staying in. Okay, tenacity. Tenacity. It got hit in the crossfire. That I get it. It's now the same cost as Hunter.
Yeah.
It could be good. It could be all right. You know, the extra red die isn't too much of a problem.
Yeah.
The only problem I could see like this being is for like Tauntauns, who now have to contend with the fact that they cost 2 extra points for tenacity.
Yeah.
Not the worst thing in the world.
Ruins my triple ton list.
Not necessarily. You just drop an upgrade.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay. The last point update is up close and personal. So we got hit with a 3-point increase from 5 to 8.
Why?
Exactly. This is now one of the most expensive training upgrades. Now, up close and personal is a good card on a lot of characters.
Yeah.
It's good on Han. It's good on anybody with Gunslinger, because you know every attack you get 2 dodges.
Uh-huh.
So it wasn't a problem in itself, but I think it got tagged in the dodge build crossfire.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, yeah, hit it from orbit, hit everything associated with it. Dodge lists are now out of the meta. Dodge spam lists, well, I wouldn't say they're completely out of the meta, but they're gonna have 1, maybe 2 less activations.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. 1, 2 less activations is easier to deal with.
Yeah.
It's easier to deal with than other things, although like it could be worse. Honestly, I'm unsure with the erratas, because this feels like a preface to the erratas.
Yeah.
I wish they would have released it all at one time and just dropped the bomb on us on its entirety and saying, hey, here's what's changing, instead of saying, hey, here's the point updates, and then next week we're gonna have 4 articles coming out with all the erratas.
Oh god.
I'm frustrated about that. I am very frustrated about that.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
So this feels like a preface. This isn't over. This is gonna get bigger. There's gonna be problems.
There's a storm of brewing.
There's a storm of brewing, and Legion is gonna get hit with it. I think it'll be really good for Legion, though. I hope they don't change the rules too much. I hope they kind of keep the old rules the same and just kind of update older cards. That'd be really nice. Just update the older cards.
Yeah.
Give us the, you know, make rebels, like rebel soldiers and stormtroopers, less
Bad.
nothing.
Yeah.
Because
that's something you have to take.
Yeah, less nothing burgers, because they're mostly, they don't have any good abilities. I mean, stormtroopers have precise, rebels have nimble.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It was good when the game was very basic, but now we're in a stage when the game has a level of complexity to it, and the simpler characters need some help.
Yeah. Like,
Um,
even Chewie's looking a little long in the
oh yeah,
tooth.
Chewie needs some help. Chewie needs some help.
I love playing him, but he's
Yeah, a lot of the older characters, like they did it for Vader, where they gave him the update where they gave him compel, and now he just compels everything. They gave so many updates that I'm like, okay, well, it makes sense. They even updated bounty hunters.
yeah,
Like the bounty hunter update was so big, and I feel like they only hit the bounty hunters because like, oh, can we do this with other guys?
yeah, exactly.
So honestly, something's coming, something big for Legion. Uh, I wouldn't be surprised if it changed the playing field completely, making Gar actually playable,
Yeah,
possibly. Um, I mean that's everything we have to cover here.
yeah,
Going through the point updates, they're good and bad. On one side, it wasn't enough. On the other side, they hit what really needed to be hit.
yeah, exactly.
So I think AMG's planning on I think they might do their point updates more slowly and more often.
Yeah,
So they're like, oh yeah, uh, we're planning instead of doing a yearly big point update
about
as things come out,
semi-annual.
maybe every 6 months, every 4 months,
Yeah.
we do a little bit of a point update where we shift some things around.
Uh-huh.
Although give me my mortars surge to defense, and give my shore troopers surge to crit.
How about no?
The Empire player in me is getting greedy.
Stop it.
This is why I'm not on any design teams.
Correct.
I'd get greedy. Okay, that's everything we have here. So yeah, I'm Isaiah.
I'm Chris.
Style home and log out.
Yeah, it'd be nice to log out.
Okay, we'll log out. Although before we log out, you're at the end of an episode, 30 minutes long or more. Please, you made it this far. Hit that subscribe button, like, follow, comment. If you don't like our hot takes, tell us in the comments. We will respond. Also check out Twitch. Everything's in the description. If you're listening like you're supposed to be, this is an audio show primarily. You video viewers are second-class citizens to us. So, as always, audio.
He's kidding. We love you just the same.
Yeah, we love you like any other normal person video watchers.
We have fun on Twitch.
Yeah, check out our Twitch. We did a Zelda stream that audio was rough, but it was a lot of fun. And we might be doing a lot more like Destiny streaming and stuff like that with the new season. So keep up with us. Yeah, we're logging out.